Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. I'm Kiki, and this is Coaching Over Cacao. So grab your favorite warm beverage. So I'm drinking my favorite cacao, Keith's cacao from Guatemala. Maybe you have tea or coffee or matcha, or maybe it's hot where you are. You want something cold. Join me. So today I wanted to share a little bit about where I got started, how I got started, and I didn't always work in the spiritual space. And if you're just getting started with your spiritual business, if you are looking to breathe new life into your business, you're looking for more soul aligned clients, maybe you're thinking of putting a new offer out there, listen in. I have a very special surprise for you. So thank you for being here. So taking you back to when I worked in corporate. So I had a 9 to 5, and at the time I was actually in the fitness industry. So I was teaching Zumba and personal training. So I was working 14-hour days, commuting on both ends, and then working for I think 4 or 5 different gyms at the time, and commuting between all of them, teaching 5 to 7 classes. So, morning, Cynthia. I was completely burnt out. I was burnt out. I had barely any energy to run errands, do laundry. I was sleeping most of my weekends away to turn around and repeat it all over again, Monday through Friday. And my business had hit a wall. Like, there are only so many hours in a day where I could teach. And physically, I could not teach or find another place to put another class or a client. So financially, I had kind of flatlined and hit a ceiling with my business. So I was feeling all the things we don't want to feel, right? Burnt out, overwhelmed, right? You can relate. Oh, I'm so glad. Not glad that you were in that place, but right, relatable. We're all more alike than I think we realize. I was overwhelmed. I wanted this fitness business to grow and be my forever, like, full time. I wanted to get away from corporate. I wanted to make a bigger impact. I wanted to help more people, but I wasn't in a good place, and I really just didn't know how to get over this next hump, right? So a friend of mine shared this podcast. She knew I listened to podcasts on my commute. I had about an hour and a half in the car on the morning and the evening, and I was driving all over between meeting clients for my day job and driving to and from between the different gyms. It was a mess. I was a mess, but I loved what I did, right? We all love what we do. So we're like, we'll just keep going. But this podcast and my friend introducing me to the Mind Your Business podcast is how I first met my mentor, coach, and friend, James Wedmore. So not only was he a great storyteller, I found myself laughing and shaking my head in the car, kind of talking to myself, gave practical advice, spoke about working less and making more, and he offered this free training called Rise of the Digital CEO. So, of course, I signed up, love me some courses. And as a surprise, when I signed up, I was invited to take his first 100 Leads mini course. And when I say mini course, it was 14 videos, and it was amazing. Totally blew my mind. So much valuable content. And it's actually what put me on my true path to listen to my soul's calling and dive in to create my spiritual business. So um, it's when I allowed myself to get quiet and dream. And I realized I needed to pivot. I still wanted to help people, but I was so focused on the physical and the fitness, I had ignored the mind and the spirit. So First 100 Leads is an amazing training, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So between his first 100 leads and the Rise of the Digital CEO, I had more than 10 breakthroughs, but I wanted to narrow it down to like my top 10, like major aha moments. So first thing that I realized was I needed to hire help to free me up to do the things that only I can do, right? So at the time, no one else could teach my fitness classes, but other people could do the admin and the back end. Same thing with our spiritual business. No one else can do the healing sessions. That's our job, our ability, our opportunity. We get to use our gifts, but other people can help with the logistics and the things that we might not enjoy as much. So that was a really big takeaway. I needed to work on my messaging. At the time, I was inviting everyone in and working with everyone, and I wasn't really specific. I was people pleasing and trying to include everyone. And in essence, I was talking to no one. My audience wasn't growing, my email list wasn't growing. Again, other things that had flatlined, just not my financial goals, right? So it was really eye opening to look at different pieces of the business. What was my promise? Like, what was I telling my clients that I could do for them? What was the transformation that I could help them with? This was a hard pill for me to swallow, but I needed to get out of my own way, right? I was keeping me small and safe in this perfectionist role, like needing more certs, needing more courses. I need more experience before I'm the authority. I'm not ready. And I remember a business bestie looking at me. She's like, Kiki, what does ready feel like? And it seems like such a simple question, but it really made me pause. Like, what does this elusive ready feel like that I feel like most of us chase? And I was like, we're never going to feel ready. So we might as well just do the darn thing and see what happens. And it was amazing, life changing, not just in my business, but in other areas of my life as well. This was another tough one, but I swallowed the pill. I was like, yep, raised my hand. That was me. I was acting and functioning as an employee with an employee mindset in my own business instead of the boss and CEO. And this took a lot of unlearning and relearning to work through to shift from employee mindset to boss mindset, right? Where many of us are in a 9 to 5, or we come from the school systems, or we come from parents where we're constantly in all of phases of our life told how we should act or should operate. And then it's like, no, this is where we get to decide how we really want to show up in the world, what we want to create. That's ours to decide. It's very liberating and empowering, and very pivotal moment in my life and business overall. Another aha was I wasn't valuing my time and my worth. So if I wanted to do something, instead of asking for help, I was like, I'll learn it. So then I would spend 5, 6, 10 hours, maybe a whole weekend learning something. Was that the best use of my time? Maybe, maybe not, but just paying closer attention. Does it light me up to learn, or am I doing it just because I can do it faster or better or cheaper, right? So just kind of questioning things from that boss mindset versus that employee mindset. And then, we all have different beliefs and possibly blocks around money and wealth. And one of the blocks that I uncovered for myself was I believed that I needed to do more. I was a big doer. Like, if I can just work harder, maybe if I work longer hours, if I add one more class, or if I can get one more client, I would receive more. It was this, I felt like I had to earn it, was really what was going on behind the scenes. And I needed to do these things because, again, society or people had told us, or maybe we observed our parents or our grandparents work hard, work longer hours. That's how they made extra money. And I got to challenge that. And I really like his philosophy. I love his philosophy, let's be honest. The less I do, the more I make. Because we're human beings, not human doings. So when I started taking a step back and getting out of the frenzy and the hamster wheel of go, 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 clearly it wasn't working. I was working less, but I was working on the most important things in my business with the boss mindset. Business was thriving. More clients were coming in, more leads, and they were people that I wanted to work with and who wanted to work with me. The convincing went out the door, and it just was easier. And I know that can sound too good to be true. There was a lot of internal work, and there still is a little bit of an argument inside sometimes, mentally and emotionally, like, should we do this? Should we not do that? So I don't want to say that it's all easy and all my problems went out the window, but my concepts and the way I perceived business shifted and changed, and it continues to do so. He talks about Stephen Covey's quote, start with the end in mind. And, I read Stephen Covey books and I believed in that philosophy. I never applied it to business. And it makes so much sense. And it was really simple. But we start with the end in mind and work backwards. So now I do it with my content. I do it whenever I create a new product. I do it whenever I'm thinking of my clients. How can I help them the most? What do they need? And then kind of work backwards. Is this something that I can help and provide? Do I love it? Will they love it? So it's got to be a win-win-win, but definitely taking more of an analytical approach along with being heart-centered and wanting to help. So I love how start with the end in mind radically shifted things for me as well. And then one of the other things that I did not connect for myself until going through this training and being more in his world, listening to more of the podcast, was how important mindset and energy are to the success of my business. So yes, I was doing my self-care. I was taking care of my body and my mind and my energy, but I hadn't really applied it to my business. And being who I am is more important than doing what I do, right? People are going to be attracted to you and your energy. It doesn't matter what healing modality, what tools you use. It doesn't matter if you have 1 or 100. They're coming to you because of who you are. And there's only one you in the world. So I loved going through this first 100 leads, his rise of the digital CEO. I go through both of them every single year. He runs them once a year. He is relatable. He's a fun storyteller. And he understands what it's like to start a digital business from the ground up, right? And I had no clue how to run a digital business. I had been running more of like a brick and mortar. I've had my own business since 2005, but to bring it online, to create digital products, to create courses, to create memberships, to reach a larger audience and make the bigger impact and income that I wanted seemed so elusive until I met James. And then it became possible. So I learned so much. I think I've taken his first 100 leads 5 or 6 times now, and I am super excited and I want to pay it forward. So I have a link to share with you. It just launched today. So I'm going to share that so you can join. And this year, he is going to teach it live. So over 3 days, he's going to teach it, and they're 3 completely different trainings. You get all of the replays. And I also have, if you didn't see his free niche guide, that also really helped me talk to the right people from the right things that I offered. So you have the niche is your direction, and then your first 100 leads really helps you build that list of soul aligned clients. So I was in the fitness industry and I had a beautiful list of all these people, but they loved Zumba and movement and personal training. They were like, what is all of this woo-woo stuff? And some of them came over and stayed, and a lot unsubscribed when I pivoted. So I'm like, I really need to boost my email list with people who want what I now offer and who I am today, embracing all of me. So whether you are just starting out, or maybe you're like, oh, I want to boost in my email list, I want to grow with the right people, this mini course is exactly what you need to do so. It's amazing. So I'm taking it again, and I would love an accountability buddy or 2 or 10. So you want to take it with me, let's do it together. Plan to be on as many of the lives as possible, but he does have the replays. So the world needs you. The world needs your gifts. And I want to share this with you to help you get more of those gifts in front of more people. So you ready to grow your list? Drop yes below and I will get you that link. So thank you so much for joining me this morning and listening to some of my story. And until next time, remember to embrace your magic.